What do you get when you take a 45 millimeter diver and shrink it? Well, you get a smaller watch. And in this case, you get a 40 millimeter watch. This is the all new Boldr Odyssey Freediver, now in 40 millimeters. So, if you're familiar with Boldr watches and you've watched any of my reviews over the past few years, you know that Boldr has produced a watch called the Odyssey. That is a 45 millimeter watch and much thicker and larger than this one that you see here. And, there's been a few variations of that piece over the years, and then they kind of took it and made the Globetrotter series, which is based on the Odyssey watch. And now they went and took it again, and they took another evolution, took another step forward to making a different piece of the Odyssey, and this is the Freediver. It is a 40 millimeter case. It now has a new bezel and it is all blasted, and it has a few other things going on that you don't find, you didn't find in the original Boldr Odyssey. So you're looking at a price of $649 if you go with the standard dial, but if you want meteorite dial, you're going to be looking at $799. And there's a few variations. The green you see here, a red or silver, and then if you get into the meteorite, it is black or blue meteorite. But the pricing here, that $649 and $799, is a little, I don't want to say odd, but it's at this time that I'm recording and doing this video, Boldr has released a new version of the 45 millimeter Odyssey, and that one is on a launch price for $500. Now, the only people that get that launch price, I think it's the first 10 people that buy it in whatever variation. And then the next batch goes up to $550. And then, of course, full retail is the same price. MSRP would be $650. So it's just odd. Now, this watch was released, I'm trying to remember when the Freediver was released. It's not brand new like that new 45 millimeter Odyssey, and I wish they could have sent that along with this. I didn't know that they were releasing this. I could have done, two back-to-back videos or a side-by-side. But let's go ahead and give you all the specifications here of this $649 40 millimeter Freediver. You're looking at a 40 millimeter stainless steel case. It is blasted, as is the stainless steel bracelet. This bracelet has quick release pins. It has a standard dive clasp that does have about 5 or 6 micro adjust holes on it. No dive extension though on the clasp. 300 meters water resistant. You do have a ceramic bezel insert that is also loomed. Miyota 9015 automatic. 14 millimeters thick. 48 millimeter lug to lug, 20 millimeter lug width. It is 189 grams in weight. You do, of course, have a sapphire crystal with inner AR coating. They specifically mention on their website that it meets ISO standards of 6425 standards. So, you'll have that fully indexed bezel, the loom, the this, the that, everything that meets your ISO certification. I don't know why I was stumbling on those words there. And then you have a solid case pack depicting the Kraken. And I don't know why I have to say the Kraken every time, but I think it's cool, and I do like the look of that case back as well. So let's go ahead and talk about this piece here and what's different. Obviously, the size is different. It's 40 millimeters, but a lot of guys, and especially guys that like the 45 millimeter piece or watches even larger than that, don't think of this 40 millimeter as dainty. As a matter of fact, I would have liked to have seen or done a side by side maybe, or just at least show the new 45 millimeter version, because that version looks similar to this because they have the new bezel insert. And I don't know if you remember the original Odyssey watches had more of that Panerai style bezel insert. It did not actually have an insert. So the top of the bezel was more like the Panerai submersible watch, whereas this is an actual insert, and now the new 45 millimeter has a sapphire insert. So I would have liked to shown you that this is not dainty, but I think the best way to do it is I'll take a 39 millimeter watch with a 40 millimeter bezel. That is the Veyer D7. If you haven't seen that review, I'll either throw it up in the corner here or link it down in the description below. But that is more of a traditional, style watch, and that is, 39 millimeter case, 40 millimeter bezel. Here it is up against the Boldr Odyssey Freediver. As I said, this is still manly, it's still aggressive, you still have the same lines, and it's kind of like the Helson Shark Diver. If you ever seen the Helson Shark Diver, that originally came out at 45 millimeters. And then they have a 42 millimeter version, they have a 40 and even a 38, I believe. But when you take that 40 millimeter version, that is not what you think of when you think of 40 millimeter watch. And I think the same can be said for this Odyssey Freediver as well. Another one of the things that I like about the change here is the all blasted case, but there's some interesting things with the blasting that they've done here. First of all, when you take a look, the case itself, the chamfers, the lines, the angular lines of the case, you'll see they are high polished there. Now it's just a little bit, and you could see it a little tiny bit on the crown guards there as well. It is interesting because it just, usually blasted cases are very dull. That's kind of the purpose of them. This is very subtle, but it just gives it a pop. And it is, I can't remember, I've seen it before. Maybe I'm just not remembering it. If you've seen that done on a watch before, blasted case where it just has just a little hint of high polish, let me know down in the description below. I've never seen it done like this. The other thing with the blasting is the bracelet links, which by the way are screw-in links, but the bracelet links, they're blasted on the side, they're blasted on the top, they're not blasted on the bottom. It is brushed stainless steel under there. I noticed it when I was taking pictures of the case back for this review. By the way, you could find a full written article at watchreport.com. The link will be down in the description below. But back to the bracelet, it is not blasted on the back. And I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning for that was, but they didn't do it. Obviously, the case back with the Kraken is not blasted either. You could see a combination of different finishes back there. Love that case back. Really, really, really nice. When you move back and you come back to the dial here, you have your large Arabic numbers here. You have... It's just a great looking dial. It is a gradient texture dial there, and you have the green color here on the bezel as well. And one thing I want to point out is that on the website, this looks much more foresty green and black. As you can see here on video and in my pictures, this is not that color, and it is a misrepresentation on their website, in my opinion. This is much more of a lighter green color, and in my opinion, at least for me, a much more pleasing green color in real life and what you're seeing here than what they show on the website. And I'm not sure why they're showing it in that color scheme on the website, because it really is not that at all. But, it's a dive watch, and as with the last Odyssey, these are really, really nice watches from Boldr Supply Company. The bezel is just super easy to grip, of course. Nice clicks, very satisfying. Same with the crown. The crowns on these are phenomenal. The lume, as you can see here on video, I took a couple minutes of lume shot here on video, sped it up, so I didn't want to waste all of your time watching just a lume shot, but the lume is excellent as well. And I have to say, at least for me, this watch at 40 millimeters on my 7.5-inch wrist is really, really great. And I like the fact that they did not go with that, the ratchet dive clasp. And now I like that clasp, and I've liked it on a lot of watches throughout the years. But the reason that I'm glad that they didn't choose it here is because, the 40 millimeter watch, this smaller case size, I'm assuming that people with smaller wrists who just couldn't wear the 45 millimeter watch or didn't want to, they're probably going to choose this watch if you're looking for a Boldr Odyssey, of course. So they're probably going to choose this smaller size. And when you have a smaller wrist and you're taking out a bunch of links, then all you see is that huge clasp. It just overwhelms the whole watch, in my opinion. So I'm glad that they went with a more standard clasp here. Doesn't have a dive extension, which is a little weird to me with everything else going on. I don't need it, but I'm just pointing it out here for you guys. I do really like the clasp, though. It is simple, but it works. It functions very well. It's just, I don't want to keep using that word satisfying, but it is. The flip lock stays closed. It's not popping open while it's on your wrist. overall, I think this is a very well done evolution of the Boldr Odyssey. I like that they went with the smaller case. I like the look. I chose the green just because, as I said, I was pleasantly surprised that it's actually a better green, at least in my opinion in person. But as I said, you got that red, there's the silver, and then you have the meteorite. I don't know. For me, I'm a little done with meteorite, and that's one of the reasons I think I chose more of the standard dial. Plus, I think all the time, if you're going to show, I don't think you always have to show like the most expensive option. This is the less expensive option, so I chose to go that route. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys think of this video and this watch, specifically the Boldr Freediver, down in the comment section below. I was going to say in the description, but down in the comment section below, I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know if you like this better, or you prefer the 45mm still, or you're looking forward to the new 45mm Odyssey. I personally like what they've done here. And without seeing that new 45mm with the changes that they made to that, I would have to say I'd probably choose for myself the 40mm, just because I like the way it fits and the size, which is still not exactly small. This has been Don Evans from Watchreport.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next one.